Hello and welcome again. Today we are back to continue with the topic hormonal imbalance. Specifically, we are talking about women's health. Why there's the increase in hormonal imbalances, increase in infertility, a lot of infertility, having period issues. And so we want to go to the root cause of all this and discuss that. And sincerely speaking, the menstrual health is all about your nutrition. And so, if you have been eating crappy food and having menstrual issues, then this is the place to be to understand why there's that rise in infertility. It's sad to see women in the late 30s and they're going through mixed period, men in their late 30s and they're not seeing their period. And for most they have to take an injection for them to see a fake bleeding. Women in their 30s not seeing their period. So today we are talking about generally about hormonal imbalances, and I want to talk about mixed period or irregular cycles. Yeah. So first of all, let me start by explaining what an irregular cycle is before we go to PCOS and the rest of other mixed cycles. So a cycle, your cycle is personalized, your cycle is individualized, your cycle is unique to you, and that's why there are various cycle lengths, but the average cycle length is 28 days. But you have people that have short cycle and long cycle. But from statistics and evidence, a normal cycle length is between 24 days and 35 days. So if you have a cycle between 24 days and your cycle falls between 24 and 35 days, you're within the normal cycle. Now, this cycle is deemed regular if it happens every 24 days or varies in length by not more than 10 days. So let me explain this with an example. For example, if you have a 28-day cycle in January and then February, because of stress and everything, or changing your diet or stress, then the cycle might now drop to 24 days. It's still a regular cycle. Some people get confused and say, oh, my cycle is not regular. And I say, give me your cycle, give me the history of your cycle. And they will list January 28 days, February 26, March 24 days, April 28. And they say it's an irregular cycle. And they've been taking pills. Oh, no, please stop it. That's not an irregular cycle. Your cycle becomes irregular if the length is more than 10 days. So that means if you have a cycle in January that is 28 days, and then in February you have a 38, 40, 50-day cycle, that's an irregular cycle, and that's a pointer, an early warning by your body that something is wrong. So if you have a cycle that is 24, 26, 24, 26, 25, and the rest, what you do to have your average cycle length is to take your cycle for 12 months and then do the average. That will give you your average cycle length. But it's not an irregular cycle. It's an irregular cycle when it's 28 days this month, next month is 30 something, the other month is 40, some people 60, every 2 months when they have, and that's the pointer to PCOS. So I'm sure by now you now understand the meaning of an irregular cycle, and you can now place yourself whether you have an irregular cycle. So now let's go to PCOS. Why you are having PCOS? PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome, or what we call in layman's term please cut off the sugar. Now, if you understand this definition, you understand PCOS. Because it's all about your blood sugar, the blood sugar imbalance, and that's why you are placed on metformin and other drugs that you're giving to stop it. But ideally, what you should do if you have a PCOS is to work on your nutrition. Now that brings us to the second topic for women. Because the menstrual cycle has a lot of hormones involved in the menstrual cycle. You have a lot of hormones. You have the follicular stimulating hormones, you have the luteinizing hormone, you have the testosterone, you have estrogen, you have progesterone, you have insulin. And all these hormones are known as steroid hormones. And one good thing that you need to know is that steroid hormones are made from cholesterol. Hello? And if you know what cholesterol means, that means fatty food. So if you have a problem with fatty foods, you're not eating enough fats, or you're not digesting enough fats, then you're likely to have menstrual issues. You're likely to be having mixed period. You're likely to be having painful period. You're likely to be struggling with infertility. So that is the basic. And that's why no pill, no supplement is going to help you when it comes to your menstrual health. You have to work on your diet. Your diet is the first foundation, is the key. Now, if you need to supplement first, good, fine and good, but you have to work on your diet first of all. So that's what we are talking about today. Hormonal imbalances and why there's a lot of increase in women struggling with infertility. Infertility, hormonal imbalances. If you don't understand that the body, the hormone is made hormones are made from our food. They are created by the body. You see, from your food you get the minerals, from the minerals you get the enzymes, and the enzymes you get the hormones. So hormones are made from your food. And once you're having hormonal imbalance, that means your nutrition there's something wrong with your nutrition. You need to work on your nutrition. So we are talking about hormonal imbalances, and today I want to talk about mixed cycle. It pains me when women in their prime, having mixed period, and the mixed period is not because that they're on birth control. It's just because they have poor eating habits. There are so many things that can cause mixed period. Apart from birth control pills. Now we're talking about things like undereating or even overeating can cause a mixed period, and there's a rise in a lot of women having mixed period and taking pills to see a withdrawal bleeding. Because if your cycle, for you to have a true bleeding, you must ovulate. So if you're not ovulating, that's not a true bleeding. Because ovulation is the main event of any menstrual cycle. And for that ovulation to be successful, then the pre-event must be successful. So that's what we are talking. Wow, somebody's asking, where am I from? I'm from planet Earth. Oh my God. For you to have enjoy your menstrual period, for you to enjoy being a woman, you need to make sure that your diet is on point, because the menstrual health, which defines, which is your monthly health report, is all about nutrition. So if you eat crappy food, you get crappy feelings. Crappy feelings like pains during your period, cramps, bloating, headache, insomnia, sugar craving, sore breasts, and the rest. These are pointers, that something is wrong, and that something is your food. So today I want to lay emphasis on mixed period. A lot of people have been abusing their body because they think they have a mixed cycle, just because their cycle in January was a 28-day cycle, and then in February it was 24, and then next month it was 26, and they're off to their chemist. Oh, I think I have a mixed cycle. I think I have an irregular cycle. That's not an irregular cycle. An irregular cycle should be more than 10 days in the delay should be late by 10 days, then it's an irregular cycle. So that means if your cycle in January is 28 days, and then in February it becomes 42 days, that's an irregular cycle. But if it's just 26 days in January and then 28 in February, that's not an irregular cycle. What you need to do is to check your cycle for 12 months, then do the average, and that will give you the average cycle length, and also help you with planning your fertile window in case you are trying to conceive or to avoid, as the case may be. Because it's the same principle. If you are trying to conceive, you go all out and raise your leg. If you are trying to avoid, you close your leg. So it's the same principle, but if you have an irregular cycle or mixed cycles, are when you have your cycle 28 this month, and the next month you don't see till day 40, 45. That's an irregular cycle, and it's most of the time is due to PCOS, or maybe if you're on birth control, then obviously that you're having a mixed cycle. But if you're not on any birth control and your cycle lengths are far and wide, then that's the pointer that something is wrong. And obviously, if I'm to discuss with you further, I will notice and you also agree with me that your diet is wacky. A poor diet will give you a miserable period. That is it. Poor diet will give you a miserable period. Yeah. So we are talking about hormonal imbalances, and we are laying emphasis on mixed cycles. Mixed cycle, irregular cycles are what we are talking today. Mixed cycles, irregular cycles, and why, if you're on pills to get a period, that is not a true period. For a true period to occur, you must ovulate. So if you're not ovulating, that's not a true period. And that's why when people are on birth control, even though they see their period, they're not ovulating, so they're not having a true period. It's what we call withdrawal bleeding. For you to have a true period, you must ovulate. And so that is it. Hormonal imbalance, mixed periods are what we are talking about today. I would like, if you're interested, to send an invite and come up and ask your questions. It really pains me when a lot of people, especially young women, are going through this phase in their life, having period issues, having infertility issues, just in the increase. Even the men themselves too have their infertility issues, and it lies still on your diet. So I want a lot of women to understand why they are having this issue and what they can start doing right about now to start having great period, to start looking forward to their period, because your period is your monthly health report. So if your period is wacky, or you dread your period, then know that your health is not on par. So that is it. Menstrual health, Menstrual health, women's health. That's the topic today, and we are talking about hormonal imbalances, why the increase on hormonal imbalances, and why a lot of women in their a lot of men in their 30s have menstrual period. So that is it. Hello, welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Okay.
Okay. Today we want to talk about mixed cycles or irregular cycles.
Okay.
Yeah, first of all, a lot of women are they don't really know whether they have regular cycles and irregular cycle. I've seen a lot of women that their cycle maybe 28 days January, then February they have 24, then March they have 26, and so on. And then they'll rush off to the chemist, please find a pill for me. I think my cycle is irregular. And they start taking this pill. But that's not an irregular cycle, because no, that's why we say day 14 is not a sure banker, because it's your ovulation that determines the length of the cycle. So an irregular cycle is when the cycle is more than 10 days late. So that means if you have a cycle, maybe say January 28-day cycle, and then February it becomes a 40-day cycle, that's an irregular cycle, because it means it took a longer time for you to ovulate or not to have ovulated in that cycle. So but if you have a cycle 28 days, and the next month 26, and the next one 24, and it goes on like that. What we need to do is to calculate the cycle for the year and do an average to have an idea of your cycle length, so that you can plan your fertile window in case you want to conceive or you want to avoid. Where you have an irregular cycle is when the numbers are the delay is more than 10 days, like I said. Then that means you have an irregular cycle, and it's most likely to be a PCOS. So that's what I wanted to explain to you, because I've seen cases of so many posts on Facebook. I think I have a regular cycle. I think I have a regular cycle. And I asked, what's your cycle length? And my cycle was 28. That's all. It is never steady. It's 20, if you're on a 28-day cycle, for most people, it won't be. And people confuse cycle with calendar. Some people will tell you, okay, I had my period on 3rd of January, and I was expecting you to see the 3rd of February. I didn't see it. It's an irregular cycle. And I asked, what's your cycle length? I don't know, but I'm supposed to be seeing it every day like that now, and every other month. I said, no, that's not the case. Your cycle and your calendar are two different things. Your cycle is your own calendar, is an individual calendar. You have to know your length for you to know the cycle. You don't just go calculating the cycle with the calendar. So that's one of the things we want to correct, that an irregular cycle must be more than 10 days late from the previous cycle for you to know you have an irregular cycle. And if you have that, then that is likely to be that you have PCOS. Now, if you the layman's term, I like going by the layman terms for PCOS. It means please cut off sugar. That's the meaning of PCOS. Please cut off sugar. Yeah, it still goes to what I've been saying. At the root of your menstrual health is your nutrition. If you have a crappy nutrition, crappy diet, then you're going to have a crappy menstrual period. You're going to dread your period. You will look forward to it. You'll be praying that, oh, this month let it not come. But that your period is your monthly health report. So if you're not seeing your period every month, that's a pointer that something is wrong. And that's something that is wrong is obviously your diet. Now, one of the things that you need to do for most people that have irregular cycle, apart from PCOS, it could also be that they're under eating, overeating. And if you're under eating, it's most likely you're under eating protein. If you're overeating, it's most likely you're overeating carbs. It's as simple as that. So for most people that don't have uh, their period regular, they're either under eating or they're overeating. So it still boils down to nutrition. Now, if you are honest to yourself and you take a look at what you have been eating, you notice that you have gaps in your eating habits. You also notice that you have other stressors, like maybe you're not sleeping very well. That will also affect your cycle length. These two keys factors will affect your cycle length. So, but one of the things I want you to take away for people that have PCOS is for you to know that PCOS is also known as pre-diabetic. And so if you have PCOS, it's just that you're overeating carbs. So you need to start reducing your carbs and start increasing your fat. Because believe me, the menstrual health is all about hormones. We have so many hormones involved in the menstrual health. We have the FSH, we have the LH, we have testosterone, we have estrogen, we have progesterone, and all these hormones are known as steroid hormones. And all these hormones are made from cholesterol. Hello. Because if you know cholesterol, that means you know fats. And so that means you have to increase your fat soluble vitamins, the vitamin A, D, E, and K. So that's the topic today. Mixed cycles. See, a lot of women, they don't see their period, and there are some are even happy. In their ignorance, they are happy that they're not seeing their period, because obviously maybe before, when they were seeing their period, they were having pains, and so now that it's 6, oh God, thank God I'm not seeing that thing. But is that's not good for you. That's not good for you. Why? Let me even shock you. Why women live longer than men? Because we bleed. Like I said yesterday, we are powered by minerals. That's the fuel the body used to run. When you go to test, you see where you be tested for the major minerals: the magnesium, the potassium, the sodium, the chloride, and the calcium. These are the what we call the electrolyte, the powerful minerals. And now when you're not giving your body these minerals, this fuel that you need to run it, the body will go into hibernation. And what the body does is, reproduction is not essential to your staying alive. The body will shut down that system and focus on keeping you alive. So if you're not seeing your period, don't rejoice. It's not a good thing. Is your body trying to do everything within its power to save you? And so that's why your period will cease. Because yeah, I've read from people saying, "Oh, I'm happy I'm not seeing that thing. It's so painful. I'm happy. I can't wish to get to menopause." Me, I'm not praying for menopause. I want to prolong my own as long as possible. Now, when I mentioned that is about the minerals, the magnesium, the sodium, potassium, sodium, and the rest. The body, you can lose them through sweat, but one of the minerals that the body needs is iron, and the only way the body can lose iron is by bleeding. And that's why we live longer than men. That's why women most times don't have issues until after menopause. They start having arthritis, start having high blood pressure, start having other different kinds of health issues, unlike the men, you know. So your bleeding is a way of saving you. Your bleeding is a way of saving you, and you should do everything to make sure that you're bleeding. If you're not trying to get pregnant, you know, you should make every sure that you're bleeding and bleeding very well, you know. Yeah. So that's the topic today. Are you following, or if you have any question, please you can interrupt me and ask your questions.
Right. Thank you so much, Coach Angie. And I've got a question for you regarding the bleeding aspect. Because I find that a friend of mine did say to me, oh, they've asked me to stop my bleeding, probably because of health issue. Is that advisable for people to stop bleeding because of health issues?
What kind of health issues?
It could be something to do. She didn't go in details, but she just told me that she just had to stop it. I don't know, because someone was telling me it's because of health issues. Most people stop their period going, and yeah, I don't know,
Yeah, I've
but
heard about surgical menopause. It's called surgical menopause, but and it's common here. I have a friend that had to do surgical menopause because of health issues. But I can quote her, and I know she's regretting it. She said if she had known, she wouldn't have stopped that. You know, um, so it all depends. When it comes to health issues, there's so many factors involved. There's one, um the person involved. What I mean by the person involved, as in your own belief, and your own, because healthy living is a lifestyle. It's all about you. It's all about your discipline. It's all about your determination. But then you can't be disciplined and determined if you don't know why you're doing certain things. And that's why if you go to hospital and you're presented with surgical options, not the natural way, you might tend to jump in and follow that because it's easier. At least let me get that pain out immediately. That's what surgical intervention does. Get that pain out immediately. They don't address the root cause, and that thing will keep on happening. It doesn't address the issue. So for me, if you have a health issue, first of all, we need to know the health issue. If it's a lifestyle, if it's a metabolic issue, I don't think you should stop. If it's a metabolic issue, by metabolic issue, I mean issues like diabetes, kidney function issues, liver issue. Most health issues are metabolic because the root cause is the blood sugar, and then they say you have to stop your bleeding. No, I won't advise, but then that it depends on the individual, like I said. You have to understand why you are doing certain things for you to do it.
yeah, it has to do with
Yeah, if not, you will not. I've been on this field. When I started initially, I was, let me put in quote, emotional. I was like trying to tell you this is the way it works. I know it works, and they will keep on telling me no. They said it's like this, it's like that, and I sometimes feel like, is this person not getting it? But then I started understanding that if the person is not seeing the bigger picture, health is sometimes like business. If you want somebody to do business with you and he's not understanding the principle of that business, if you like preach from morning to tomorrow that there's money in this business, the person will not join you. And you'll be like, wow, this person has financial issues. And I'm teaching you how to do this business. You don't want to do it. I don't understand. You like, what is going on? So it's the same thing with health. You'll be telling somebody that this is not helping you, and the person is seeing it that is not helping her or him, and he's still stuck. And the next thing they will quote you is will somebody not die? What do you mean? Please let me enjoy myself. So for me, when it comes to metabolic health issues, lifestyle, chronic health issues, I prefer dealing with person as an individual to find out her reasoning, to find out where she belongs at that point in time. Because for me, I only treat people that are like, let me try this. I have no other options. People that are sick and tired of not getting results are more suitable for going dietary lifestyle. But people that think they have options, if you like preach from now till January, you're wasting your time.
Right.
Yeah, but if it's a metabolic health issue, for me, if the person have approached me, there's no way I'm going to stop that bleeding.
Right. Yesterday you taught us about hormonal imbalance. I'm thinking again, hormonal imbalance, would you say it's regarding the lifestyle, how we eat, if we're eating unhealthy, not eating the right food?
Yeah, that's what I say. When we started yesterday, I mentioned that hormonal imbalance, the hormones are made from food. You eat the food, you get the enzyme, and from the enzyme, you create the hormones. And that's why no pill or supplement is going to help you when you have hormonal imbalance. And that's why there's the first signs of hormonal imbalance that warns you, that your body is telling you, oh, you're feeding me crap. I can't run with what you're feeding me. I need better fuel. And that's why I reference the your car and your fuel. If you are putting in a wrong fuel, you won't enjoy that car. So that's why you have the first sign of hormonal imbalance. And that first sign always shows up 10 days prior to a new period. It shows up. You have headache, you have bloating, you are constipated, you have insomnia, you have breast tenderness. It shows up. You might not have all the symptoms, you might just have one or two, before your period. And why you're having this is because your pre-event was messed up. The menstrual cycle involves three events. The main event is the ovulation. The pre-event is the what we call the estrogen phase, or before ovulation. That's when your body starts preparing for ovulation. And if you're an event planner, if you don't get the pre-event right, your event won't be successful. Then the post-event tells you where you have made mistakes. And that's why the post-event, which is after ovulation, is important for you if you are trying to conceive or if you have menstrual issues. If you're trying to conceive or you have menstrual issues, you should look at your post-event. And if in your post-event you have these symptoms as I've mentioned, then you have hormonal imbalance and your diet is crappy. So really is our diet that is mixing up the whole thing. Does that clear your question?
Yes, thank you so much, Coach. Yes, yes, yes. Getting better because I'm trying to grasp all this, so I'll be able to, when I'm there, I know what to do. I'm not yet there, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay. And that's why when the magic happens, and that's why I'm so sure. And that's why I tell, especially for people that have menstrual issues, mixed cycle, and I say, if you just follow my meal plan, I'm assuring you within 30 days of following that your very next cycle will see a change. I don't give any supplement, it's just the meal plan. And so that proves that if you are eating crappy food, if you're under eating protein and overeating carb, and once you have corrected that, you enjoy your period. It will come. I have a client that had painful periods, as in her cramps no be here. And she was like, it runs in our family. I told her, nothing runs in your family. Are you willing to put in the change. And she was like, okay, say, which supplement am I going to buy? Which drugs? I said, I don't do drugs. When it comes to menstrual health, we don't do drugs. We deal with food and then some lifestyle cares, to reduce your stress stocks that we are adding, And you start seeing changes. You say, that's simple, I'll do it. I say it's not simple, though, because it involves some tasty sacrifices, and your determination, and and some advisors that will come for you. So it all determines how disciplined you are. She said she's willing to do anything, that she has been taking painkillers, ibuprofen, the highest painkillers, and nothing has happening. I said okay. And by the very next cycle, she sent me a text. Mommy, I can't believe this. I went into the toilet and there's blood on my pants without any warning. Before I see my period, 1 week before it, which I've been mentioning, the post event that is telling you that you have an irregular cycle. Say 1 week before then, I'm on fire. My body has started warning me that my period is about to come. Now I had zero warning. I just went to pee and there was blood on my pants. Mommy, I don't know this is possible. I say it's possible because you started fueling your body right. And when you do that, the body works like magic. It's simple. It's only when you put it into practice that you appreciate this. And then you'll be like convinced, oh, so I've been digging my own grave with my own hand. She went to the toilet and blood on her pants. Unlike before, years of before going, she has started asking, oh, is it possible to shift this cycle? Is it possible to shift this cycle? She will start having pains, cramps, and all that. But now, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that for her, And diet. The menstrual health is all about your nutrition. It's all about your nutrition. It's all about your nutrition. And that's another thing. A lot of people get confused when we say nutrition. Or when some people will come to me and say, my menstrual health, I have issues. And I'll go on and tell them, well, we need to take a look at your diet and see how we tweak it and get you to start enjoying your period. And then I'll ask them, please, can you give me an average how your milk looks like? And some will get sensitive and say, I eat very well. I eat very well. I eat very well. I don't eat processed food at all. I say, please, can I just have that? I know what I'm asking. Okay, just give me your breakfast. And then you see in their breakfast, morning um morning juice, you see juice, you see bread and toast. Then you see another breakfast, oats and whatever toppings they have added. Then you see another option, what is it, normal option that they perfect. Then you see another option, salad, and later can see I eat very well. I eat very well. And then I'll say, sorry, unfortunately, that your early morning breakfast or your breakfast options are the root cause of why you're being miserable, why you're having miserable period. Say, no, 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 no. These are healthy food, vitamins. Vitamins. What are you saying? These are vitamins. You need it. 5 days, 5 fruits a day, or what did they say? and once such people start with such approach, I find it hard to impart this knowledge. I find it hard because they already made up their mind on the healthy part. But then the results are there. I always like going with results. The results are there. You're having miserable period. Something is wrong with your nutrition. Because if if you're doing something, I keep asking, are you getting results? Or like maybe some diet plans. You have a lot of diet plan. You can do anything to lose weight. So many ways to lose weight. But the question I always ask them, if you're doing any diet plan or you're on any weight loss plan and you don't have an age, something is wrong with that plan. It's not about even being miserable. If you're doing any plan and you still feel weak, fatigue, something is wrong with that plan. Because your energy is all about your metabolism. Your energy is the result that you get from the nutrient that you get from your food, from fueling yourself. The energy, the result is the energy. So if you are doing anything and you don't have that energy, then something is wrong with that thing you're doing. It needs to be changed. Remember, the menstrual health is a monthly health report for women. Then for men, the barometer of health is their morning erection. But we're not talking about men today. So if your man is there, ask him whether he's still getting his morning erection. For most of us, if you're having health issues, it start with the sexual health. Because it's not essential for your survival. The body will always patronize the most important thing, and that's why people struggle to get pregnant. You're getting pregnant is not essential. It's an additional load to the body. If you're not healthy, you must be healthy enough to support pregnancy. If you're not healthy enough, you will be having infertility issues. Even if you do get pregnant, you might miscarry because your body cannot support it. And once that happens, if you're struggling, your body focus all its energy, all its resources on digestion to keep you alive. That's the simple truth. you know so before we deviate from our topic, we are talking hormonal imbalance, and we are talking about mixed cycle or regular cycles, 6 period. And I want you to take away one thing today, that if you have an irregular cycle, your cycle length varies by more than 10 days. You have 30 days this period, and then the next period is 40, 50, or even approaching 70. Or you have your cycle every 2 months. Every other 2 months is when you have your cycle. The one thing you should add to your diet is to increase your fatty food. Now stop taking fat-free yogurt, fat-free milk, skimmed milk, and all the rest. You're not doing yourself any good, because the hormones needed to make this sexual reproductive hormones are made from cholesterol, and so you need cholesterol. And if your body sees that you're infirmary, you're not having enough, it will shut down reproduction, it will close down, it will stop bleeding. So you have to up in your fatty intake for you to start bleeding normally, and then start ovulating. Any other questions or any other topic you might want us to explore? Hormonal imbalances, why the increase, why the rise, why a lot of women struggling with infertility, especially women in their um, early 20s, mid 30s, struggling, which is the peak of fertility. Something is wrong. This peak of fertility, women in their 20s, early 30s, that's the peak of fertility. And yet, a lot of women are struggling in this age bracket. You know, they are struggling and really struggling in this age bracket. You see a lot of them, they have problem complaining, mixed period, painful period, or multiple miscarriages. Why? Something is wrong. You know, something is wrong. A lot of things are in play. You have so many strike stocks during this age phase. You have work related stress, you have emotional stress, you have the baba of all of them, nutritional stress. There's a lot of women in this age gap are always on the go, either they're working or trying to build a career, and no, and so their food, they are crappy. They eat convenient food, and it's affecting their cycle. It's affecting their cycle. So many nutritional stress talks, so many emotional stress, trying to catch up with the Joneses and all that. That's why you have a lot of women peak of their fertility, and yeah, they're struggling with fertility. Peak of their fertility, they're having menstrual issues. You know, something have to be done about this. We need more information out there. Need information how to balance the two, balance the work and balance your nutrition. How can women in the peak of their fertility, 20 years to early 30 is the peak of fertility for any woman, and then that's the age that most women are struggling seriously. Multiple miscarriages, 6 period, painful period, and the rest of it. Peak fertility, something is definitely wrong. We're all pursuing money, and because of we are pursuing money, we sacrifice what we eat, we sacrifice our sleep, we sacrifice self-care, we sacrifice a lot of things to be that queen, to be that happening babe, and in the end, it's going to cost our health. In our 30s and in our 40s, we start having health issues, and we're wondering why. When we started in our 20s, creating this poor gap in our health, it all counts. That's one thing with health issues. Yeah, the body will keep managing, tolerating, showing you that something is wrong, and you keep going on, and the body will be putting all efforts to keep you alive, till one day say no more, I can no longer do this, and then it will bring you down to your heels, and you say, oh, what's wrong? It didn't happen that day. Most lifestyle health issues didn't happen that day. It started years back, 10 years back. And if you do a flashback, you notice that your body has been warning you, but obviously you are ignorant, or you have just been going to the chemist and popping drugs, popping pills. Chemist, please mix that drug for me, I beg. That drug, that one you gave me last week, it didn't work. Oh, but I don't know, that symptom is back again, I beg, mix that for me again. And he will give you, after he's there to make money. They're even a sure candidate. Next 2 weeks he will come again. You keep getting constipated, you hardly move your bowel, or you move but some are still remaining, and you just keep ignoring it. That's a time bomb. That's a time bomb. One of the symptoms of thyroid disorder is constipation and low cholesterol, high cholesterol, I mean to say. you know. Don't ignore symptoms your body is giving you. Is a signal that something is wrong. And that something is wrong is your fuel. People keep ignoring food as if it's not important. But that's what fuels you. It's from your food that you get the fuel. It's from your food that you get the energy. And we keep downplaying food as if it's not important. When you hear the word your food can either be medicine or it can be poison, you think it's just a statement. That's a real fact. And once you start having issues, symptoms here and there, or maybe you have noticed a regular pattern, please pay attention. Your body is saying something. And that something is, there's a gap somewhere. There's a gap in my nutrition. There's a gap in the fuel you're giving me. You know, it's just like, okay, the fuel. I like using the car, as an example. It's just like if you go to the station and you put the wrong fuel in your car, because it doesn't have all the nutrient needed, it won't work. It might even clog your engine for you. So that's the same thing with our body. If you're not giving it all the nutrient needed, the vitamin C, the vitamin D, E, K, the vitamin A, D, E, K, because you're avoiding fatty food, you're avoiding fatty food, you start having issues. And that's the problem with vegetarians. They don't have the B12. There's no way you get B12 on a vegetarian diet. And you know what B12 can do. It's a water-soluble vitamin and it's so powerful, in your blood formation and all that. And you're avoiding, and you're a vegetarian, you know. Then you also, because you read, they said fat. You're avoiding the fats and you're looking for flawless skin. Come and get it now without the fats. Come and get it. You are miserable on your period without the fat. Okay, continue. Continue. If you have a question, please type in the comment section or you can send an invite and you'll be invited to ask your question. I would really like people to interact on this and ask your questions. I will try to get give you answers to that in a layman uh, way so that you understand it, because the more, if you can get more people knowledgeable about this, then they'll do a good job of passing it to their kids. Growing up, for most of us, we are told nothing about our menstrual health. It's just my daughter, if you see period, if you see blood on your pant, just let me know. In some cultures they celebrate that, but they won't tell you what is involved. Seeing your period is like marriage. Nothing, you are not told anything. You just, if you see it, enter. Whatever you see, start doing what others are doing. So that's the same thing with period. Nobody is told anything. Just when you see a period, let us know. And you're given a pad and you'll be told that you will see it every month. Any questions? So that is it. Hormonal imbalance. What's the root cause of hormonal? Why they increase? Why a lot of women struggling with menstrual issues? You know, menstrual disorders. There are four major menstrual disorders: painful period, scanty flow, heavy flow, and mixed period. These are menstrual disorders. These are not normal. If you're having cramps, if you're having pains that you have to take a painkiller, or you vomit during your period, or you cannot go out, you hibernate because you are in pains or you're vomiting, or you notice that during your cycle you bleed for just 2 days, or that you bleed for more than 7 days, or that your cycle is very irregular. You see your cycle January and the next cycle will be in March, that kind of a thing. Please know that you have hormonal imbalance, you know, and you need to start doing something about your diet. Yes, hormones are made from our food. Yeah, hormones are made from food. Hormones are created from our food. They are not made from pills or supplements. Once you have hormonal imbalance, just know that you need to work on your diet. You need to work on what you're eating. You need to go low carb. You need to drastically reduce your sugar intake. Let me even tell you, do you know that if you reduce your sugar intake, that increases your chances of ovulating by almost 60%? That's how it works. No pill will give you that. No supplement will give you that result. The sad truth. No pill, no supplement will give you that result. Just by drastically reducing your sugar. Now, reducing your sugar is another topic, because a lot of people don't understand this reducing your sugar. Once they hear reduce your sugar, they think sugar is just about reducing your processed food. They don't know that there's sugar in natural food, and that's why we say go low carb. Once we have reduce your sugar, they tell, oh, I've stopped taking soft drinks. I don't take meat pie again. All those pastries, no, I don't do them. I don't do baked food again. I don't do drink tea again. Yeah, I've reduced my sugar. Great effort, good mood. But then there's still more. We have reduced your tea. You have stopped taking your bread and all that, but you have replaced it with a more dangerous sugar. You have replaced it with loads and loads of fruits in the name of juicing. That's a sugar concoction, and that's why you're still where you are. You're not having results. When we say reduce your sugar, we mean reduce your sugar in all ramifications. Sugar in the processed artificial form and sugar in the natural form. You have to reduce them. You need to learn about your carbohydrates. You need to know the different types of carbohydrates. You have the simple carbohydrate, which is where you find the processed food. We have the complex carbohydrate, where you see the odogu rice, the odogu oats that you're taking. These are complex carbohydrates, and they are still sugar. Just know that every carbohydrate turns to sugar in the end process, and your body cannot differentiate between, oh, this is a processed sugar, oh no, this is a complex sugar. Sugar is sugar. So stop deceiving yourself that you have stopped taking sugar. Some people even go to the extreme of thinking when they say sugar, they mean refined sugar. Oh, I've stopped taking refined sugar in my tea. I don't add refined sugar in my pap. I don't add sugar. I just add milk, and some sweeteners. I don't do the sugar again. You are still taking sugar. In short, you have increased your sugar. The body cannot differentiate that this sugar is simple sugar. It's really the humans that are doing the classification. Simple sugar, complex sugar, this and that. Odogu sugars that from the grains. I posted on my my TikTok shop a meme on how to manage your diabetes, and there they say eat healthy grains too. Let your condition get worse. You know, the healthy grains are the rice, the oats, the corn, the wheat, the millet. These are the healthy grains, which are odogu sugars. Odogu sugars. They are odogu sugars. You know. So if you are, remember the equation. If you're overeating carb, it's likely you're under eating protein. And if you are doing that, you'll be having menstrual issues. You'll be struggling to get pregnant, or struggling to keep the pregnancy. And if that's already your case, start doing a check of what you're eating, and check on an average your protein intake and your carbohydrate intake. And please note that fruits and vegetables are carbohydrate. Please don't put them under the vitamins, because that's what people keep telling me. Oh no, my fruits they're vitamins. No, they're carbohydrate. They are pure carbohydrate, pure sugar. So that is it. Why the increase in what's it called? Hormonal imbalances. You see that everywhere you go, hormonal imbalance. I want to do a challenge on hormonal imbalance. Who is interested? All hands on air. You get more than 50 responses of people going through hormonal imbalances, going through menstrual issues, painful period, mixed period, women in their peak of fertility. Peak fertility is 20 years, early 30s. That's peak fertility. Early 20s, early 30s is peak fertility. And yet, this same group of women are the women struggling with fertility, struggling with menstrual issues. And yet, that is the peak of fertility. So something is wrong somewhere. Something is wrong somewhere. Something is wrong somewhere. Peak fertility, and yet a lot of women are struggling. See a woman in her mid-20s not having her period. See a woman in her mid-20s having multiple miscarriages. And you think it's normal. It's not normal. Something is wrong somewhere. Something is wrong somewhere. Hormonal imbalance. Why the rise? Why the increase? Why a lot of women are having issues? Please bear it in mind that it has to do with your diet. That's why there's that increase. And that's why there's that increase in that age group. Early 20s, early 20s and early 30s. Most women in this group are in their peak of their fertility, just starting their career. So they most likely sacrifice eating. They prefer eating out. They come back late. They stay up late to catch up with trends in their industry. And these are stressors, that will affect your menstrual health. And so we are trying to teach about balance, how to balance both sides, balance the work and balance your eating habits. You're all pushing, you won't want to be the happening babe, want to be the happening bear by sacrificing our diet. We want fast food, we want food on the go, you know, and then at the end of every month we suffer for it. Is what we know. What we know, one Bible quote that I love: "What you sow is what you reap." And remember, when you are sowing, you might sow just a seed, but you reap double, 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 double. That quotation they do me somehow. What you sow is what you reap. They didn't caption it well. What you sow is what you reap, double, double. So that it will be more understandable to appreciate. What you sow is what you reap, double, double. So once, if you're in that age group and you're sowing, eating out, you're sowing mixing your eating junk food, fast food, not sleeping, and the rest of it, double double you will get is that your painful period, mixed cycle, irregular cycle. That's the double double you will get. So if you have that and you're in that age gap, 20, early 20 to early 30s, and you need to balance both sides of the coin. Need to balance both sides of the coin. Need to balance both sides of the coin. Cycle is deemed irregular when the length differs by more than 10 days. If you have a cycle in January that is 30 days, and then the next cycle is in March, that's an irregular cycle. That's something to worry about, because that means you did not ovulate. For each, okay, let me explain even the first phase of the menstrual cycle, which is the what's it called, the first cycle of the menstrual cycle, which is the follicular phase, or what we call, there are just so many names for that phase. They call it the follicular phase, we call it the phase before ovulation, we call it the estrogen phase. Then the follicular phase is when you start building up your eggs, the follicles start building it up. There's a time allotted to it. It's just like, okay, let me go back to explaining the best way I used to explain the menstrual health. I like explaining it like a good farmer. The menstrual health, let's see that it's divided into two: the rainy season and the dry season. The rainy season is the season, you all know what the rainy season is all like. It's all about planting, about getting your soil ready and all that. And so that's the menstrual cycle, and that's the first cycle, the first phase before ovulation. Is about getting your body ready, getting the land ready for cultivation. Then the dry season is after ovulation, removing your harvest and everything. So now, if during the first phase or the rainy season there's not enough rain, that's a problem. You know that. Does that mean that would delay planting season? So it's the same thing with the follicles. If there's not enough nutrient for you to start coming up. That's why if you have ever gone for any text, they tell you to come in on day 2 to take your FSH. First, FSH is the hormone that is first released to start developing your follicles. So if there's not enough rain, they're going to affect the planting season. If there's not enough rain, the land won't be wet. This Baba God is wonderful. So that's why you put in. Do you know that when you're doing your fertile window, you're tracking your fertility, that if you notice that you're always dry, you don't have any cervical mucus, that's a symptom too. The body shows us in so many ways that something is wrong. And for most people that have cervical issue, one of the root causes that they don't take enough water. Remember, during that, like I mentioned last time, during that rainy season, you need to stay hydrated. Because that also helps with your cervical mucus formation. And God made it in such a way that the wetter you are, the more fertile you are, because the sperm needs a wet medium to carry out. The sperm is like a fish; it needs a wet place for it to operate very optimally. So if you don't notice that wetness, you're always dry, that's something that needs to be checked and to get you worried about. I will suggest that you increase your water intake, so that it will help with your cervical formation. But that's not for people on birth control though. Birth control, what it does is to reduce the cervical formation, because with that it will also decrease your ability to get pregnant. So that is it. So we're talking about um hormonal imbalance, 6th period. Why do we have a lot of women in their peak fertility? Peak fertility for women is age 20 to. Hello, happy, good to have you here. Hello.
Hi, good
Yeah, good
morning.
morning. Nice having you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, today we are talking about 6th period, mixed period, where you see a period maybe January, then your next period is in March or something like that. And we want to reason why a lot of women in their peak fertility for women is age 20, early 20 to early 30s. And yet a lot of women in this age group have this problem, 6th period. I've seen it a lot with different women, and they also want to explain why what's an irregular cycle. A cycle has to be irregular if it's delayed by more than 10 days. Because I've also seen people that they saw their period maybe 28 days January, and then in February they saw it 24 days, and they say, "Oh, I have an irregular cycle," and they get to take a pill, causing more harm. Your cycle has to be late by 10 days for it to deem it irregular, And so that's why we are talking today. And we also want to mention that if you're having an irregular cycle, then two things are involved. You're either under eating or you're overeating. And if you're under eating, that means you're under eating protein. And if you're overeating, that means you're overeating carbs. So that's what we are discussing today. If you have any question, you can throw ask us and we'll deal with it.
So, I just want to ask, with respect to this irregular period or cycle you mentioned, what are the remedies to really ensure that you have this consistency, if possible, even when you are off? Because you mentioned the peak period being 20s to early 30s. Even if you're above that age bracket, what do you do to still ensure that you have your cycle going on regularly? And one
Okay.
more thing around the menstrual cycle. I think I've asked you this some time ago as well. When you see bloating, you see you're having your menstrual cycle and you're having clothing, rather, blood clots. I remember you said that's not normal. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah.
So what's the remedy to it? Because I know a few people, I have also had conversation with women where, and they say, oh, they see it is normal. It's part of the cycle. Until I discussed it with you and you said no, I was really shocked. So what's the solution
Okay, let me start
to?
with the last question. The blood clots. There's some situation that it might seem normal. Quote. Now, the blood clots, what matters there is the size. Hmm? The size of the clot. If they're very big, it's not normal. But in some
Okay.
situations that it might seem normal, is where maybe peradventure you have heavy flow in that cycle. Normally, you don't have a heavy flow, but somehow in that very cycle, you have a heavy flow. And so when it's heavy, it might clot. But it won't be
Yeah.
a size that will be a big size that will wake you, as in you will notice that the clots are big.
Hmm.
So if it's a heavy flow, which is still a pointer that something is wrong, because you're not used to having a heavy flow. You have a heavy flow, it might clot, but
Okay.
the size will make you to worry.
Okay.
But if they have, if it's a cycle that you clot and the size are big, as in you come out in lumps, that's not normal.
Hmm.
And that's why, remember, let me go back again. Why I say clots are not normal, that's the way I treat it. Because I said if it's a heavy flow and you're not used to having a heavy flow, you might see some clots. You hear what I said?
Yes.
Now remember, a heavy flow is a sign of a menstrual disorder.
Wow.
Now see,
So
if you
what
are
do you
having
term as heavy?
now a heavy flow is where you put in a pad
Mm-hmm.
and maybe let me say within an hour or so it's filled up.
Wow. Okay.
You know, or we also call a heavy flow where you bleed more than 7 days.
Okay.
These are examples of heavy flow, and regularity of changing your pad. You put in a pad, you have noticed it that you have moved from using simple to when you go to the shelf, you see pad terms for heavy flow. It's not a normal flow again. It's not like before, maybe okay, let me go back to where I was mentioning. If you have not been, because any change in your cycle is a warning to you. If you're having a normal flow, you put a pad and maybe it takes about 2 or 3 hours before you change it, and suddenly you now put in a pad within an hour, it's soaked. You notice that it's soaked, and you have to change it. That's a sign. Even though the cloth might be small, a cloth is not a good sign. You're not supposed to have cloths.
Hmm.
Cloth is part of a heavy cycle.
Hmm.
You understand? So the second question that you asked was on irregular cycles, even when you are above the age and all that. Cycle, like I said, has to do with your nutrition. Cycle has to do with stress. There are different types of stress. What we all think about stress is physical stress. That's the list of the stress. Now, when I say cycle has to do with your nutrition, we have what we call nutritional stress. Another nutritional stress is where we now come under where I explained under eating protein and overeating carb. If you're under eating protein, remember, if I'm referring to protein, I'm referring to animal protein.
Yeah.
I'm not referring to plant protein. If you're under eating protein, you have problem with your cycle. If you're overeating carbs, you have problem with your cycle. Now, this carb is a sensitive issue because a lot of people don't understand this carb. They understand sugar, and they think sugar, for most people, they think sugar is just refined sugar. And so they will tell you, I don't eat sugar, so I shouldn't be having problem. Or they will tell you, I don't take processed food again. I don't, if in my tea, I don't add sugar. In my pap, no sugar. So you are still taking sugar because all carbs turn to sugar. And your body cannot differentiate between simple sugar, complex sugar, processed sugar. What the body understands sugar is sugar. So now, for some people, they tell you, okay, I've stopped taking anything processed. And now I take only fruits, only juices, perfect, and some oats. They're healthy. Hello, healthy grains. These are complex sugar. They're sugar. You see the healthy grains, the rice, the oats, the wheat, the millet, the corn. These are grains, and they all turn to sugar.
Wow.
So you are still taking sugar. Now, we're not saying you shouldn't take sugar, but there's a way of taking sugar,
Okay.
and there's a time for taking sugar. And that's why, if I've always placed emphasis on your breakfast. Like, if you get your breakfast right, your first meal of the day, you're almost good to go. And if you must take carb, if you love taking carbs, please push them to your lunch.
Lunch.
And then they must be paired with a protein, animal protein.
Okay.
So that means you don't have, if you because if you go to for most people's breakfast, let me take for example the oat. There is oat there. Then they'll put their toppings, which it can be a banana or a granite. There's no protein in that meal. And what would that do? To spike up your blood sugar. Remember, for you to ovulate, there shouldn't be any fluctuation in your insulin. And so once your blood sugar is spiked up, there is fluctuation in your insulin, which will affect ovulation. And ovulation is the main event of the menstrual cycle. And that fluctuation can either delay ovulating or reduce the time you ovulate, and that will reduce your cycle length. And that's why you start seeing your cycle length reduce. Oh, I was having 28-day cycle and now it's 20. Or I was having 28-day cycle, is now 40 days. So that is it. Do you still need further clarification?
No, thank you very much. I think from what you just said is ensuring eating right, and more importantly, eating more of animal protein, carb reduced. Hopefully that would help. Thank you.
Now, apart from food, that I mentioned other stress talks. Apart from food, we also have the self-care. There's the things that you need to do to make sure, like good sleeping habits, and then other ways to reduce your stress. I have my weekly self-care that I normally give my clients, and which I'm going to share now. We call it I love like socks in natural self-care. Anybody can do this. The Epsom salts scrub. You buy Epsom salt and baking soda, form a paste, and rub it generously on your body. It's also good for facial scrub. Rub it generously on your body and then take your bath. It helps to add a magnesium transdermal. And now that will make me talk about magnesium. Magnesium is one mineral that is essential in over 300 body functions. Magnesium is super nutrient. It's one of the body's electrolytes. Magnesium, calcium, potassium, sodium, chloride. These minerals must balance. And if you have been doing any tests over here, you will notice that if you go for tests, they will check these minerals, the magnesium, potassium, chloride, sodium. Now, magnesium and calcium works in hand. They must balance each other. And sometimes when you go to buy supplements, you see magnesium and calcium. They must balance each other. But for rugs, because magnesium is also involved in stress, most of us are low on magnesium. Most of us are low on magnesium. Magnesium is involved so many things, involved in blood pressure, digestion, blood sugar, heart and all that. So this self-care that I've mentioned helps to add in magnesium. We call it magnesium transdermal because Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate, and then the baking soda, which is a cofactor of magnesium. Because for each mineral, they have their cofactors, minerals that they work hand in hand with. So one of the cofactors of magnesium is bicarbonate of soda, or bicarbonate. So you had your Epsom salt and your bicarbonate of soda, form a paste and use it to scrub your body generously, scrub on your face for a glowing face, scrub on your body to help you to distress. You feel that relief when you do that. I do that once a week for me. If you are starting newly, you can do that twice or three times in a week, um, and that will also help with your diet and that. you
Sorry,
know.
I just want to ask, did you say the salt plus baking soda rubbed together as a paste?
Yes, that's well. Or you can just add it in your water if you want, but I like using it to scrub all over my body. I prefer
Okay.
that way. Yeah, I scrub
As the
my
Celtic salt you talk
no, not the
about.
no, not the salt, Epsom salt. The
Where do
salt
we where do we find that one?
or chemist shop, pharmaceutical shops.
Sorry, can you call the salt name again?
EPSOM.
EPSOM.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. It's really very helpful. You find it in pharmaceutical shops, or sometimes you can find it in the supermarket.
Epsom salt. Okay.
Yes, that's where you can find it. Hello, DJ.
Good
Yeah,
morning, ma.
good morning. Welcome. We are talking about women's health, hormonal imbalance, and our topic today is on sixth period.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you have any issue or question about hormonal imbalance? Because of an issue, a lot of women are having sexual issues, having infertility, like issues that come with that.
Hello, ma.
Hello.
Uh-huh. Eh, maybe you didn't even remember me. I was one of your students now that you coach.
I know.
Well, your teaching has been helpful, so it has been helpful for me, though.
You yourself have been helpful too by taking action. When you take action, you understand what I mean.
Yes. my cis period have regulated on its own, and so just hoping for the best.
Yeah, it will come. It will come.
No, now it has, I told you that time now, it has regulated.
I know what I'm
Like
saying.
that.
I know I'm
Okay,
what
okay, okay.
talking about the second part. I will come. What you need is to, well, you can do that in camera. Is to give me the
But
date. I said you can do that in camera, but I think I have your last two menstrual cycle.
yeah, then normally again, this one supposed to come on the 9th, but on the 5th, I saw a little blow, but it didn't come again since then. I don't know. That was this month, but I've not do test though.
Um, like, is there any symptoms you're having? Are you constipated?
Kind of, sure.
Make I begin dance like fairy godmother. Make I wait. Oh my God! You know, I was even using you as an example before you joined. You know
Okay.
about pain and the person that was explaining to has gone. I don't think it's in the comment section. I was telling them about once you give your body the right food, it works like magic.
Yes.
And I was explaining this six period. And I was telling them that you have six period, it's most likely under eating protein, never eating carbs. And that if you're willing to change things, that you can start seeing results by your very next cycle. I remember the day you came, I think it was on the 5th of that month. And the very next month, I know I went to the market with you practically. You're buying things
Yes.
and buying, and you're even saying, I'm spending more. I said, forget about what you're spending. You're going to enjoy this. And you did. You're posting your meal. I was correcting. I was telling add this, emphasis on this and all that. And it paid off. You know, we all need to understand that the menstrual is all about your nutrition. All about your nutrition. You have a crappy diet, you have crappy results.
Yeah.
Those people, especially people that have PCOS, that the hardest people to convince that their pains are you find it hard to believe.
Yeah.
So that is the case.
I got to understand that the best medicine is what we
Yes,
don't
because
eat right.
your food is the fuel the body needs. So if it's messed up, you have messed up results. You know, I was telling you before, if you have a
Yes.
car and you put in the wrong fuel, it will not move now, or it might move and stop you halfway.
Yes.
If you put in the right fuel, you enjoy the car.
Yeah, that is true. Both in general body, both me looking younger,
Okay,
people
well,
comment.
at least loudly. Because sometimes
Ma?
they'll think,
That's good to hear. Oh. Good testimonies.
Yes. Even most people have emulated me. They will look, I envy you because I used to be very big, as in now my shape came out. No, 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 no. In fact, my husband joined when he see that. Yes, now if you see my husband now, he's underweight, as in he himself. No, no, he's looking very good and everything. So I even some people care, what are you using? What medicine are you using? I say medicine for what? For your weight loss. I say I'm not using anything, I'm just eating right. They say just food. I say it's food now. So even sometimes when I post my meal on my status, my egg that I was doing morning egg, some people will come, this egg you are eating is much. I say you are not my nutritionist, you don't know better than them. So I didn't really put ear to what people are saying.
Yeah, that's
So it really helped me and everything. In fact, I didn't even use drugs for the period to come and I didn't because
when you
this is
told me
something
that
I've
you're using drugs, I was laughing. You told me that drug because you're not having a bleed. If you want to bleed, you have to take drugs for you to bleed. And so let's do it. Fine. I'm not giving you any drug. It's only meal plan. If you are doubting now.
so my finger is crossed, sha.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
hoping to hear good news though.
Anyway, since your dad don't join, but it takes two to make a child. So since your dad don't join, hopefully. But I don't ask one question. Make I begin to shout to shout.
I've been I've been yeah, I've been confused there, sha, but I just say let me wait, sha. The month is still long
Wait, I've
because
not
normally weeks, ma.
I have continue. Continue.
I still due to my calculation because since the thing since I'm having that irregular period, so I was unable to really count. But that day it came out on the 5th of February, so it came very well, and I plotted it in a flow app. So I kept quiet. Then the next month, because that on the field before I come out, normally I do have this pregnancy symptom. That is the same way it's do to me, but my nipple will hurt and all those things. So once the period came out, after the end of the period, the thing stopped. I went back to my normal self. So I plotted that thing on my flow out. So on the 10th of March, before that on the 10th, a week before then, I started feeling that nipple hot and everything. So I was like, okay, this period want to still come because I was still even doubting whether this thing I regulate. So down on the 10th, the thing came. I said, wow. So I went back to the day, the first day I started that February. I counted it to the 10th of March, which is 34 days. Yeah, which is 34 days. So then by April, with my calculation, I was like, okay, on the 9th, I supposed to see it. So, but that is this month that we are. So I didn't feel any nipple hot. I didn't feel any nipple hot too. But I noticed that on Saturday, that was on the 5th. So I went for a program. So I now said, okay, let me go and ease myself. So when I wipe, I see blood. I was like, this thing came early. Oh. Well, maybe as it's still regulating. So I have to leave the event because I was not prepared. So when I got home, I said, okay, I went to toilet. I was even telling my husband, say this thing don't come, it come early. Oh. And I said, well, maybe it's trying to regulate itself. But I noticed that when I wipe again, I see blood with white stretchy thing. I was not even telling my husband that am I ovulating during period. And I kept quiet. But that day it stopped on its own. After it didn't rush. So it's not something that I was rushing. I didn't feel any this thing. So and it stopped. I was like, why this thing comes stop? And now my mind went to could it be plantation bleeding? But I don't want to give myself so this. I now said okay. So I just left it, thinking so okay, maybe that was like did I injure my own? I was so confused. And I said quiet. So till not then, so and I would not do this. I was like, let me wait sha till month
Yeah, it fits me. an open mind, things are happening. Learning one step ahead of them. And just work hard and then on the right path.
So that is it, sha. Eating well has been is a very good thing. In fact, you make me understand there are some food I feel I thought it was good, but following you make me know that those food, like something like wheat before, I'll say, let me eat it too. But I got to know that those foods they are harmful to the body than what we think they are. And apart from it, we also confirm that what you were teaching me then was right. There's this doctor of the future. I followed him on Facebook. So everything you thought, cancer, everything, exactly what he did say in his page. Very good.
I really find it hard to believe that you don't have to buy things to look good. Yeah?
Yes.
You know?
Even in that place, they used to abuse the man. Ego, they start calling him Ego Future. But by the time the man will say, then they don't know. But those that are following what the man is saying, they are really seeing results.
Yes.
Really seeing it. That is it. Not apart from even the balancing of hormone, you yourself, you feel like you before I used to look okay, I sent you my picture now. My two picture before and after. Most of
Yes.
all my clothes that I've abandoned since 3 years. And fat. If I wear it now, it's not even my size it used to be normally. Because everything now changing is very in fact drastically I saw the
I
change.
say people will not believe you. They think you are taking pills. They say you don't want to tell them.
And I told them that I'm not taking anything. Those people that I told that I'm not, they say, okay, what is that thing? They say they don't have any money to pay for anything. I say, well, say this is small. E get one person that I even gave her a month. I don't know if she contacted me. So she said, okay, I should just tell her what I'm eating for just 1 week. Let her try it. And I said, okay. In the morning, I told her in the morning, eat 4 boiled eggs. I just give her some food and I told her stop all your drinks. Then eat early in the night and 5. I just give her the timetable and everything. She did it for 1 week. She saw different, but there are people that it's not everybody that have this zeal to continue doing something. So they will always go back to their former self.
That is
Because
it now.
I told them that this thing is discipline. It's not easy. Discipline.
Yes.
Very disciplined. You need to discipline yourself. And some, in fact, me and my wife, we hardly eat more. It's more like our system adapts to that little thing we eat. We hardly eat much again. Even we hardly eat much. And in fact, my food now, I don't put seasoning at all. Just salt, pepper.
Hmm. That is it. People find it hard, you know. They find it hard to stick to it. But once if you're seeing, like, I believe if you're doing something, you're seeing results, and you're getting compliment, you should stick to it.
Yes,
Just like
so
when I
that
go to
was that was what really, in fact, that was because when I and when I wanted to start, I told you I was using a French doctor. So
yes,
the
yes,
man told me, no matter what you give to me, if I'm still eating things I'm not meant to eat, say the medicine will not work. That is the only doctor that I know that told me that thing. And he told me that for your period, I'm not going to give you medicine to bring down your period. No. Say naturally when you eat normal, your period, your system will change. Now when you give medicine for infection and all this, but your period, you regulate it yourself. Your system have to. I was like, wow. Okay, so but he just told me little things that I should not eat. But I was like, okay, if I didn't eat this, what will I not eat? So that is why God so do it. I still meet you on Facebook. So and I said, hey, let me so when you give me that thing, then my husband was like, my husband and his nephew. I cannot do it because I take drinks a lot. In fact, I dey drink mineral, soft drinks a lot. So you cannot do this, you cannot do that. I said, okay, let's see. So I used my money. I didn't even want to tax my husband. So I went to buy all those things that to be sincere, 1 week. My husband looked at me. He said, this is working. So before you know, he dashed me money. He sent me 10K. I said, okay, do you want to join? It's okay, we try. I said, because I can't reduce me use the people. It's not possible. So you have to reduce. He said, okay. We started it. Before you know it, most of, in fact, my husband can blend very well. Before, we find it difficult because his stomach don't too big. And they will see somebody is rich. They don't know that we are eating pork. That is why we look like Odogu. Odogu is not meant to be fat now. Just look at your body should be fresh. So, under 1 week, 2 weeks, I said, even me, I have not started noticing, but people are telling me, what happened? You look different. They cannot ask me, am I sick? Because I look fresh. They only said, you reduce, this your new shape is good, though. This, that. I said, wow. I like that compliment. So, that keeps me going.
Yeah,
It keeps me
yeah, yeah.
moving. I
You know
was
what I keep
like,
telling people that within a week you will see changes if you are dedicated. And if you are doing, I told you, if you are doing it, I
yeah.
will know.
In
If you are
fact, me
not
that
doing it, I will know.
before I don't like tight fitted clothes. Now there's a cloth I wore last week Saturday to a program. Tight gown, comfortable. I can sew the style because I was like, okay, my body can carry it.
Yes,
And people like it very, very well. They like the thing. And the fact that if people ask me, which cream are you using? I say cream. It's my normal cream. They say, no, you are getting lighter. I say, that is my color. The color is coming out because I'm
yes,
eating healthy.
yes. That's true.
So, and instead of all this mineral and all this, I do tiger nut myself because some people will tell you they do tiger nut, they will add sugar. I grind it myself, I do it myself. Then I buy Greek yogurt on sweetening. So if I feel like taking anything cheap, I take it. So instead of taking minerals and everything. So I know a lot of good compliments. Even my compound, I never knew that the husband have gone and tell the wife that she see Auntie Vero now. So that day the woman was waiting for me. So the woman was like, they were waiting for me. So before you know it, as I was coming downstairs, the woman asked me, okay, yesterday too, you want to give me 300 though? Okay, 400, okay. So the woman was like waiting for me at the down as in close to our thing. As I just told her, I said, hey, wait. I said, what happened? I said, very please, what are you doing? He said, no, now look at you, you reduce though. I said, I'm not using it. Okay, now laugh. He said, you are not using it. Okay, how do you reduce? I said, I'm not using anything new. It's simple something. It's simple and hard, and you spend money. He said, what is that? I said, it's to save food. I said, yes. say meat. If people see me eating, if they see my plate, most I don't eat outside because I run a restaurant. So if there is no light, I sit outside. But most when I want to eat, I go inside because I don't want to talk. Because I will eat more of the meat than
Mm.
carb. So I say, since meat to egg or all those protein. He say egg, meat. I say yes. So when I told her what I do with my husband, the husband come from us inside say you and your husband must try. Say he no fit. Even the wife say and the Romo I cannot do it. So that is it. If you want to, because the wife is very fat. When I say fat, even when me and fat, I was not fat like her. She's very fat. The wife I said, I cannot do it. I was like, well, if you want to be called slave queen, you need to do it. But if you want to remain the way you are, don't do it. So I just left. So I see all these people anytime pass me, fine girl, fine, you're looking fine now, you're looking sissy. You know, it gives me joy because one, it brings out my real age.
Yes.
Unlike before. Before people think
You said you even think like for me, people take off 20 years off my age, and I find it, you know,
as it bring
it makes you look
bring
younger.
back. You
Mm.
know what before I start doing this, I look older than my age.
Yes.
Very older than my age. Only those that look at me. This card they will say I look them as small. But my body size everything. Me when never drop one, if you look as if you don't drop finish. But when I start this thing, as in the shape that my other used to know me then start coming out. Even my younger sister, I post my picture. They say, hey, you are coming back to your shape. This is the shape you used to know.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, it's very good. It's very, very good. And I really, really appreciate that because it's a different thing to, okay, now most of them, that say there's one gym they open in this year. You see all of them, they carry bag, carry me. And very less than gym that at least to help it will also as I come I'm not gymming, I'm okay like this. Even early
Mm.
morning I come to work, I come to shop, I cook. Is an exercise on its own.
Yes.
So if you like, gym from now to tomorrow. If you're not eating well, you will remain the way you are.
You know, when I
So
post it
I
on Facebook that exercise is not for weight loss, some people will say, "What is this one?" You know,
uh
exercise is not for weight loss.
it's not so
It's not for
they
weight.
don't
It's for maintenance.
yes.
It's for
But
maintenance.
when somebody is doing something that is stressing you and everything, you don't need it. Like to me, I don't want them muscle like man. So I just told them, oh, say if you like, do exercise from now to tomorrow. If you are still eating rubbish, you not see the rubbish. It's not like you are going there to look better or looking to see how you are dealing without hurting yourself. So it's just discipline. That is what discipline and determination.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I feel less sick. But before then, every time I would be sick, there is this persistent cough I have then. As in, I can cough for 1 year, no stop. I do that like everything. In fact, I do tests everything, thinking that maybe there is one disease. They didn't see anything. So the doctor was like, I should stop some. He asked me to stop breast food then, but me, I never on breast food. But I noticed that when I started this eating healthy, I don't cough again.
Yes.
Seriously, I want to cough. Maybe something enter my throat. I don't cough again. Even this heartburn, I don't experience it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that is something because then I noticed that anytime I drink soda, it's the cough trigger, as in consistently I will cough and cough and cough and cough. Sometimes because I throw up, both And I noticed that I was like, I'm trying to bring out what I'm eating that is making it to cough. So, but but when I start this thing, I stop managing, I stop taking drinks, I stop eating late night food, then I reduce my carbohydrates, I stop so many things. I notice that the cough and I don't before I can't communicate like this without
Mm.
coughing. So now if I want to cough, maybe the cough come on its own, but it's not like all those it was serious stuff that I was even afraid that
Yeah.
what kind of stuff is this? So eating good is really, really good. Very, very good. Very good. But some people will not say it. There are somebody that is told that your mommy, your daddy has what they call it, diabetes. You people are giving him what they call it, sweet. So he's young. He said no, it's fiber. I said to I read you that is young, that is not good. Yes, it's their grace. So I come to understand that grace food now, they are high in carbohydrates. By
Yes,
carbohydrate,
now.
is
Yeah, the simple
natural.
carbohydrates.
Yeah. So instead I was like, people should live from ripe plantain, different dates, or some believe what doctors say, everybody believes what doctors say. Yeah, but one thing is there are people that body fits our body too than other people's body. So I don't do this really serious. I don't consider it once I post, then this plenty meat, this plenty meat, I say that is how I do. After all, I'll tell you, maybe you see me recently, how did I like making it to this thing to answer your question? So because some people will say, meat will make you fat. I see some people that say this thing. Don't eat plenty meat, meat will make you fat. This and I say, okay, stay there. I will eat fatty meat. It so some of them is just doubt. They don't have the knowledge. And when they still give them the knowledge, they don't want to
That is
take
it.
it.
That is it. That is it. But we keep pushing and we keep getting those that really want to change, you know. When you tell people that you eat fat to lose fat, they say it's not possible. How can you eat fat to
Uh,
lose fat?
in fact, if my like when my oil, I don't have oil, and I know the money for olive oil is expensive. I slaughter pork meat every Saturday. The
Hmm.
fat, I melt it. I reserve it for my cooking.
Yeah, yeah,
Anytime
you use it.
I
That
do
is called lard. That's lard oil. It's called lard.
it.
You know, like me,
That's what
I like eating pork belly. You know, it's very oily pork belly.
that's
You
what I use. Like tomorrow now, I'll use to pray as we carry the meat that has fat. So when we finish, I remove all the fat. I dissolve it when I get home. I store it. So that's what I use to Ma, I will pause my this thing. I want to attend to customer.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming up. Thank you. Hello, Happy. Do you still have questions, or you have been amazed by the testimony?
Really amazed though. Really good one. Well
Yeah.
done.
Mm.
Really good. I've listened to everything she's been saying too.
Yeah, yeah. She was a client I was mentioning this year. Yeah, this very year. She has been following me on and off, never serious, you know. She even bought my email plan ebook, but she never practiced it. Till this year she came again and said she wants
Wow.
a personal class, you know, that she want me to be guiding her and everything. And then she mentioned that her period has ceased and the doctor told her about pills and all that. I told her you won't use pill to, like she said that you won't use pill to get by your period.
Hmm.
You need to eat. She now said okay that she's ready for a personal class, and that she want me to go virtually with her to the market. So that's why. So I said, okay, get ready now. So she went to the market. She was buying. She will buy. She will screenshot and show me, is this the right one? Is that and that? And she was buying. And like I didn't know she's like she said she didn't ask the husband. She was complaining, my money has finished. So
Yeah.
I said, your money has not finished. You will enjoy it later. Just keep buying. And then she said she wanted a bit more. She's not just telling her what to eat, that she wants to post her meals so that I will correct her whether it's too big or I told her because in this meal plan, you actually need to eat till you're full. So I won't know whether you're full. She said no, she wants to know whether she's getting it right. So every morning she will be posting her meal. I'll now say, okay, no, add there's still carb, add reduce the carb if you want to start this first week, add more of the eggs, like when I told her to start taking 4 eggs, she screamed, 4 eggs, is that not too much? I said, do you want results? Be following me, oh, you say you want to change this time around. So she started, and by the 1 week exactly, she started noticing these changes that she mentioned. I told her it takes only 1 week to see those changes, and you'll be asking yourself, so I've been the root cause of my problem, and
Honestly.
she
Honestly.
went all out. She went all out. Yeah, she told me about the husband. By the second week, yeah, if I could recall, she asked me whether the husband can join. That the man says that he's interested. The man said, no, you know what, make you leave him. Oh. As he define, you go, he come become what? You go say, why I marry this man? Now the man quickly join before they begin tell am story that husband had. So the man join, and now he heard her saying that both of them are enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes discipline. I know how you know how long you have known me, and you know how I still keep repeating the same thing.
True.
And I keep telling you, if you are doing it, I will know. Because you will get results. If you're not doing it, I don't bother myself doing follow up. If you are
Yeah.
doing it, I will know because you'll be excited.
True.
You'll be excited at the chances and you want more. You'll be Oliver Twist. You want more.
Yeah.
What else
Yeah.
can I do? You see her skin glowing. When I tell people that I don't use cream, I just use the barest minimum there is, the cheapest there is, petroleum
Imagine.
jelly, and I'm glowing.
Imagine if you are not using the very expensive ones. You will
Imagine,
just
imagine, and you're looking fairer, and and people, because we have been the hype on the television and everything. People find it fun to believe that you're losing weight with food. They'll just go back and say, just be deceiving yourself. You don't want to tell us the drugs you're using.
yeah.
Just like business. Why sometimes before I used to get emotional, but now it amuses me. It's just like business. You are doing business. You don't want to learn. You want to do a shortcut. And you're not making success in that business. And somebody is having success and is telling you, said no, they're using juju.
Hmm.
It's the same thing.
Exactly. It's
It's the
quick
same
to
thing with
it's quick to label it that it's juju. It's not ordinary.
with their health. You're telling them it's your food. They say yeah, you're gonna be taking one supplement or be taking one pill and be here taking which food? It's not the same food.
Yeah.
You're not eating the same food.
Hmm.
You're not eating the same food. Apply the discipline. Like I mentioned, there was a woman that had the issue of diabetic or whatever I saw, and I told her,
Yeah.
apply
Yeah.
membrane on your sock because an open wound that refused to close, and she applied the membrane and the wound closed, and she started attending church, and he was in church. He met people as usual. Them say, then why are you eating egg at your age? You shouldn't be eating egg. Oh, you're eating food. That's incredible. Your kidney, your this and that. And she came back and told me they said, oh, am I? You can see she's not serious. And she stopped. You see,
Oh
you
dear.
also mentioned about the person that did one week and stopped.
Wow.
And yeah, they'll be complaining village people. When the village people
When the
is
solution is in your hands.
oh. So that's why sometimes it looks like, oh, this kind of coach, they bother ask whether I'm following up. If you're following up, I will know.
You
Because
don't you don't need to ask. You will
I don't need to
it's the
ask.
student that will come back and tell
You'll be
you
disturbing
results.
me. You'll be disturbing me. What next? I
Yeah.
know you yourself. When I'm saying it, I'm referring to you. I know when you're following up and when you're lagging behind.
But coach, I'm following now. I'm trying.
I hope so. I know when you lag
I'm trying, to be honest. I'm trying. Like you say, it takes a lot of discipline. I am
yes.
really trying, to be
Yeah.
honest, because nothing as good as getting the results that one wants.
You know, this very woman that she has, this is her second mission. The first mission that she failed woefully. I didn't even talk to her. When she came,
Guy.
I'll try and screenshot it and show you her message. When she came back, I said, you are back again. I hope you're serious this time around. She said, no, she's serious. So I was really impressed because she went all, that's why I said I attend to people that are sick and tired of being sick. People that
Hmm.
think they have options, I don't like addressing to them because they think they have options.
Yeah.
They will still come back. You have to start with the foundation. If the foundation is weak, that's why it's
Hmm.
called supplement. You don't supplement something that is weak if the foundation is firm.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I post on Facebook, you can't lose weight with exercise. They'll think this woman just want people to buy her meal plan. Exercise, exercise is for maintenance. It's not for weight loss.
Hmm. Hmm.
Exercise on its own is a stress, and you're based because you have stressors. So you cannot come and add exercise when your meal is rubbish. See her now,
Imagine.
she's telling her people that she doesn't want to go to gym, and so to them, she must be taking something, and she doesn't want to tell them.
To tell them. Wow.
So that is it.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll keep pushing. We'll keep hoping that people will do it. You know, I love.
And
I
well
love.
done for all what you do. It's, to be honest, it's amazing. It's like high opener. Sometimes I tell myself, I wish I'd known you years before. But anyways, it's never too late.
I'm not sure. Maybe you have been a convert. You know, you might have been saying like others. I better forget them. All these Facebook people now. So they'll tell you they'll go inside and be eating. You know. Like when she was posting her meal, I was posting mine too. When I want to correct her, I say, okay, this is the way you did it. See my own. See my own meal. If you want, I can do it with you. See my own meal. This is what I ate. She's not so okay, 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 okay. Or she will go back. She was really like a good student. I will say that about her. She was really a good student. She was dedicated. She was willing to check the changes. She was disturbing me, but I was liking. I loved it.
Okay.
Every morning even sometimes I was dreading her post. Every morning I'll see I'll see her mail and coach correct me. Is this one correct? Or she'll tell me this is what
Oh.
I want to cook. Should I go ahead? I said go ahead, it's okay. When you finish, post mine, she will say no problem. I'll send you on. It was really dedicated and it's paying off, you know, paying
That's
off.
very good. Very good. With mine, I've shared my meal plan with you, which you also adjusted, and that's what I'm beginning to work with.
Okay, you're still beginning to. Okay.
No, 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 no. When I mean begin, oh, let me use the word rightly. That's what I'm using. But to be honest, there are sometimes I don't follow it judiciously.
No, yes, that
Maybe,
even me myself, that sometimes
yeah.
I don't judiciously do
But
that.
I
Yeah,
work with that. I work
yeah,
with that,
but
to be honest.
event comes in and all that. But then you
True.
make sure that, like I said, even if you're not able to follow it 100%, that affects meal.
Hmm.
That affects
Very
meal.
key.
And that's why we always advocate for egg. Apart from that, egg is a super food. It's
Yeah.
handy. There must always be
Yes.
egg in your house so that if you cannot prepare your that you just get the egg and dash out.
Yeah.
You know, just get the egg and dash out.
Very true.
Yeah,
No,
and it
egg.
makes sure it's
Yeah.
easy. I
Egg.
am saying it, and
Egg.
I don't
Yogurt.
work with the eggs so because I don't like eating eggs every day. I have a client in Nigeria. Oh, she's an egg eater. I doff my heart up for her. I don't know how she
Wow.
does it, but me, I cannot. After a while, I get bored. I'll be honest with you. After a while, I get bored. So that's why I always have to prepare. I prepare my meat. I prefer the meat. I prepare it
The
on time, you
meat,
know. But
yeah.
if adventure events coming, I'll not take the egg. You know, if I'm to post my meal, you see that you hardly see the eggs. So that's why I was like, if you can and you like the egg, like she's my friend, that my friend I'm talking about. She eats a boy, four boiled eggs, standard in her house. Her house, the girl knows that.
Wow.
About the eggs before asking her mommy what next. You know? But for me, I can't take the eggs.
Every day.
Oh, no, it's boring for me. Yeah.
So
But
that's
one
where
thing
the
I
animal
do,
protein comes in.
what I do mostly, like for that egg, sometimes I enjoy it inside stew.
Yeah, yeah. So
Than I enjoy it inside stew than white like that. If it's inside stew, wow, I love it. So I can eat it very well. And sometimes like the what they call it, following of this man. Sometimes you may tend to cheat. Ehen. So it's not, but it should not. It's once in blue moon. Once
Yeah.
in blue moon, yes. That I crave for this. So
Exactly. True.
yeah,
That craving.
we are humans now. We may tend
Yeah.
to cheat, but
Yeah.
occasionally, like there's a day now, my husband is a lover of bread, as in lover of bread. So I was so surprised how he coped without bread. So there's one this particular bread, boku. People familiar in Lagos, boku is a very very in our popular bread. Me, I'm not a bread lover. So they bought that bread that day in the house. He just look at me as I enter kitchen. This man just cut small. I just cut and say, "You are stealing bread to eat." He just laugh. I say, "See, if I thought you want to cheat, bread is the worst. Don't cheat with bread because bread sef is the worst. You can maybe you eating around 5 because most times I make sure we eat around 5. Then he's eating around 5. Maybe before 9 because him is an engineer. He work mostly at site. He's not around. If she come back, so he work mostly at night, as in at site. So I know the energy level. So I told him that most times if you want to cheat, just you can munch on things, healthy things, not on bread is a no for me. So I make sure they don't even buy bread and keep at home because it will tempt him. So I'm somebody that drinks garri, love to drink garri. So which day was telling me that very senior, I don't think it's this day, it's not easy. They even the garri of a thing, they have deprived him from drinking garri. I said, you want to drink, I don't worry, drink, but don't let it be more. Are you not liking yourself the way you are? You say it's true, liking it, it's true, this and that. So, like now, me, I don't even know. I said I was. If somebody now eventually got pregnant, how, and you know this craving of a thing, how will you manage it? If you are craving for the wrong thing, nko,
that. Let me explain the craving. For
it's coming.
certain things, eh?
Yes.
Like you crave for them now because you are not eating. You are eating food that makes you full for longer. You crave more when you eat more carbohydrate because you get hungry
No,
faster.
not craving like you are hungry. No, you know there is one thing that may be hungry you now as a person.
Yeah. That's just like you say, once in a while. Like once in a while, like for me, for a long time, I'm not eating rice. You know, not eating rice. Sometimes I crave for rice and I prepare a fried rice. But there must be enough protein. Just the rice might be just one spoon, one chicken spoon. Then my protein as usual. I do
When
that
you
once
want to
in a
prepare
while.
your fried rice, do you use all this processed one like all these sweet corn.
No,
They will
what
use
I use, the
fresh.
only thing I use for my fried rice is the rice, liver, uh,
Yeah.
green pepper,
Okay.
carrot, chicken, minimal vegetable, carrot and green pepper, then
Is
liver.
is
Then I will,
curry and thyme good?
curry is dicey in a way. We'll talk about that later. Curry is dicey in a way, but sometimes yes, I use curry, but it's dicey in a way.
Okay, because most times I even use bay leaf. I don't cook use curry at all.
Hmm. Curry is high in what we call zelates.
But there's a place I saw money point. There's a place I saw curry that they sell that was like I'm going to ask you, but I've not really have the time to ask. Like this, some people say Jago mayonnaise is good. So I don't know how true it is. I asked you
No,
on
no,
your
no, these are store-bought mayonnaise. You know why they are not good? The oil that is used
okay,
to make them.
okay. Because that
Because,
time I even Google it.
because
They
they use
say,
seed oil. That's why we say if I think when you asked me for mayonnaise, I told you to do a homemade mayonnaise. So that you use
eh,
the problem with store-bought mayonnaise is that they use vegetable oil to do it. So it's that vegetable oil that makes it unhealthy.
okay. But if I do it myself, it's
Yeah, if you do it
okay.
yourself, you can use your pig oil, you can use your butter, you know, to do
I
it.
do not to make it.
No, it's not easy to make. The easiest one is to add um you have a
Lemon, abi?
blender,
Yes,
um
I have.
boil egg, add the melted butter,
Okay.
add your vinegar. I'm done. Voila, your mayonnaise is there.
Okay. I'll
Soft
try
boiled
it.
egg. I'll send you a TikTok video where he explains it very well.
Okay, okay,
So you
okay.
can copy it. It's very easy to do. But then what I don't do mayonnaise because I'm not eating bread. So what am I using it for? I'm not eating salad. What am I using it for?
But is salad bad?
It still boils down to one of the cons against salad is that it's raw,
Okay.
it's vegetable. Ideally, if you want to do what we call, I prefer do what we call our Nigerian salad, which is the cabbage and the carrot. It helps for some people that have estrogen issue.
Yeah, that's even what I do. That is we call it coleslaw. Just
Yes,
garbage
coleslaw is
and
better than
yes,
the salad, the green salad that involves all the other vegetables.
yes.
Coleslaw is better if you have some estrogen hormonal issue.
So, but normally before, like I feel, there was a time I did this. Say it's 1 week, or just 1 day meal that I did for
Yeah.
1 week. Yeah, which that one I did it with ease. But lately, I don't know if belle
Happiness, are
don.
you here? Hello.
So,
I didn't hear the last statement. Sorry.
I mentioned
I
your
said,
one meal because I told her to do one meal. I don't know whether she has done it 24 hours fast.
eh, so I did one meal
Okay.
for 10 days. Yeah, me and my husband, one meal. So I did it with ease. So, but now, lately, like this, as we enter this week, I wake up with hunger. So I don't know whether belle don enter. I don't know, but you know, I wake up as in I mean around 6 o'clock. I come to my shop. My shop is not far to my house, so I run a restaurant. So I was cooking jollof and this thing. I could not hold that urge. I just have to take a scoop of jollof rice, and so I have egg, boiled egg. So I let the protein be more. So I now ate it. But I was feeling that with this craving, I don't understand though, that I don't want to fat again. No. But
No, what we're going to do is to wait and see. If it's not pregnancy, then we'll have to discuss. Maybe tweak your diet again. You know,
okay,
yeah.
no problem.
Because one thing, like one thing I know is that your body gives you a sign of what it needs at each point in
Yeah.
time. It tells that this is what is lacking. You need to start giving me this. It's a balance. You know. So if it's not pregnancy, then maybe you have increased something and your body is demanding for that.
Yes. That's why I said I want to wait till month ending.
Yeah,
So let me see. So why just a shop?
that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, if no other question, we might be calling it a day. Thank you, ladies, for coming up. It was very interesting.
Thank you very much,
Interesting.
Coach,
Yeah,
for all the insights.
yeah. I hope you grab something on the 24 hours because you have not given me feedback on your 24
Not 24 hours. At least let
Okay,
me
is
let me
she
be
doing it?
consistent with the 16 hours first. 24 hours, we'll get there.
Okay. VJ, have you seen people that are serious?
Ma, why didn't
No,
you
but
open?
you said, but coach, you said 16 hours is not bad.
I
No,
beg, VJ, ask me your question.
Why
no,
didn't
am
you
I
open
wrong?
Why
No,
didn't you have a WhatsApp group where people, because sometimes when people are sharing, because there was one time I joined all this portion control. It's not eating healthy though, but it's just portion control. Then I also lose weight, but my body still lack what it takes. Because they told us we can eat any kind of food just with portion. So, but that is not eating healthy too. So we have a group whereby every morning we have time, we submit our breakfast, they mark it for us. So it really ginger people a lot because they are a group of people, and they are everybody, people sharing their results, people share, it's like a tax,
yeah.
and people follow up, you understand. So
Mm,
I was not saying that, don't you have a, maybe want to create a WhatsApp group where people join in, and everybody, it really helps. Because me, I know that there are sometimes I will ask you question, oh, you will not even answer. There are some of my pending questions on your WhatsApp, you've not answered me.
yeah, I didn't answer that because you know the answer and you're still asking me.
So I felt bad though, but I like, well, this person have tried for me, so let me know. Maybe she's not ready to answer that and all those things.
Mm.
And you know that sometimes people, we need encouragement, we need what to keep us um growing, you understand. Even the group there's the group I follow, that doctor of the future, where he said for weight gain, for weight loss, as in they pay that they're in one group. I was tempted to join, because it's not that maybe you've not teach me all, but I feel like where I see people every, if I thought you want to lag behind or you want to slap back, that motivational, that no, I want to come out this way, I must give this good results. It keeps you, you want to keep doing and keep going more.
Well, that's part of the reason I started a TikTok live, so that people will be open and ask questions, and
Say
from
TikTok,
people.
okay, TikTok, I see it is a very open place, but there are some people that they don't want people to even know what's going on about them. Some may not be open to even talk, but whereby like a normal group on its own, like Facebook or Telegram or WhatsApp group and all those things, people will be more open. They will be able to share their ideas as in what is really wrong with them. Because TikTok is an open place. You don't even know who is viewing you.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we'll look
that is
into
it.
see how to proceed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Sister Happy, take your this is serious though.
I'm serious with it. No, coach knows, but it's just that 24 hour.
Well, do you know that if you do that 24 hours, serious, in fact, I get most of the results that 24 hours. As in, see, it's not easy, oh, but I've put my mind there.
When I told you that I love fasting, I love 72 hours fast, and people were like, what is she saying? Fasting is the key. That is the main reason too.
Yes,
Once you start progressing, you start enjoying
because if
fasting.
like what I learned, they said insulin. If your body resistant of insulin, when you fast, it's used it helps that it's like I can't remember how they explain it in this doctor of future group.
Hmm.
There's a way you place it there that most time when you have insulin resistance, you should fast.
Yes.
That
Hmm.
it helps it a lot. Yes, that
Happy,
means
happy still thinking how to do the 24 hours.
it's very easy. Okay, you may choose like me now. I choose since I choose 5 to 5 then. So, but you are drinking water now, it's okay.
I wonder.
I choose 5 to 5 then. And my husband did it. And then he was going to say he will come back. He said, if not for one thing, if not that, because I told him that you cannot do it. I challenged him. He said he can do it. So he was like, if not that, he was telling his nephew that I said this is for don't say at the site like this, all his worker they be eating. Say he have money to eat, but he no fit chop. He no be so but just because he wants to I know he's a supportive and this journey is good when you have a supportive partner. It helps
Yes.
you. Yeah, it helps. So when he's doing it now, if I want to buy anything I can ask him. It's not when it comes to the money wise, he's in fact they collect money. He's no because now Nigeria we know how it is now. If normal my mother wants to eat a very as in and we've been doing it so far. And what help us again, we have a slot farm, so I sell pork, so I at least every Saturday guarantee that I have enough meat. So but sometimes once I eat that pork, the next day I may not feel like I have to get something else, fish. And to me sha, it's very consuming, dey consume money, but God has been faithful. So that I would like to do that 24 hours. Even if I post on my status that my first meal of the day and the last meal of the day, people will be chatting me say, hey, you are trying, I say yes. That is why you are seeing the results. I'm trying. It's very good as in me sef. I was like, no, it's very very good as far as we drink water. But one thing I now notice that once you reach that time, it's getting to close to that 5. I don't know what wakes my body that I'll start feeling hungry. So it's not like the body, the system have adjust to that time.
Mm.
See what I do? I don't have change. I don't have serious. I say I don't have so. So throughout in the morning, I won't feel hungry. Even though I would enter fire, I will cook, I will do everything, I will not feel hungry. I will see people eating, I will not feel hungry. For water, I'll be taking water. Once it's that close to that time, hunger. I say, so this body have adjust that this is the time I need to eat. This is the
Yes.
time
It happens.
so so that just the only one I don't know if I can do is that 3 days that you did without food. I don't know. But my husband have done it before, even before I think of this eating healthy. One day he was like, he's he need to reset his system. I say how? He say for 3 days he will not eat. He did it though. The third day own, the third day he seems okay. He did 2 days. The one that's supposed to be third day, he ate at night. He was like he's going to fight and he's doing a serious work, so we don't know if he's trained to carry it. But conveniently he did it 2 days. But when he now went to break it, my husband used bread. You know that time we don't know anything. So all the thing is wasted. Wasted effort. But I will try, sha. That if not be the lady finish, I will try am. But if na am, that was the question I was asking. You know, some people when they are pregnant, they can be craving for something. What is it? They can be craving for something. They'll be craving for something. They may be craving for snacks, all those unhealthy food. So I was asking, how will somebody do it?
Wait till you get pregnant first. You might see you're not craving for anything.
I'm preparing for it.
But then if you do, once in a while, it's not a problem.
Okay.
But let me tell you, if you are, if your foundation is like this, and you keep up with that same foundation, bet you are not going to crave anything.
Uh, I pray
Honestly.
so because I don't want to.
You
Because
are not going
sometimes
to crave anything. I've been there, that has been there, so I know. You're not going to crave anything.
okay.
Hmm.
Because how will I me even my husband there's something he said. He said we use this eating heavy. What are you looking for? Okay. So he was like telling me that this eating healthy is good because normally my husband nephew that lives with us, so when they see us eating meat with small portion, the meat will be entering their eyes. In fact, I allow them cook their own food because they will say they want to use maggi. I say okay, go ahead. So I cook the one that my husband will cook separately, but their eyes they will be entering inside that one we are eating. And my husband is somebody that he don't like to be eating something different, the other people be eating something. And I say stop feeling bad. This one is we are working on something. They cannot do it. I mean, I cannot be wasting protein on people that will still hide and go and be eating healthy food. No, let's not waste the money. So when we ask them, one of them said never, he no fit. Say man dey give am that small meat, make e dey chop plenty food, you know dey do. So the other one, the meat dey enter im eye, e say baby, I say you will not do. For back, you go and eat something. Wow, what is the problem of food? My husband, I will just tell my husband, I will just leave them. It is not what they can do. And what are they reducing? They never find anything for life. So let's just leave them. My husband like, no, if any of we have any child now, we're going to start with this foundation. And I say for that one is okay because they will grow with it. They will come to, in fact, nothing like bread and cheese they will do for us. Nothing like indomie, nothing like all those things. No. Let them eat healthy. Let them take a healthy food to school. And when you start teaching them, it will really help them. Even if they grow up, their body will adjust to that. Maybe because what they see in the house, they will say, okay, this is what we used to do. By the time they did not see tea and bread in the house, they will not tell me that they want to eat tea and bread.
Yes.
So that is just it. So the same thing, but if God do it for me and pregnant, I would love to eat healthier as well. But I wasn't saying I will ask you if there's any pregnancy menu for pregnant women. Because when you eat healthy when you are pregnant, you have chances of overcoming any complication.
Oh, once it's a proper way. Once you eat healthy, you have a smooth pregnancy, you have a smooth delivery, and your nursing is on point.
Yes,
Yes. Oh, it's all round benefit.
there's no problem. Thank you for all you do and everything.
You're welcome.
So anytime you are ready to open WhatsApp group, I'm always there. I
No
don't
problem.
mind to pay over and over, just to be among those that are pursuing the same goal. It encourages the person. So that is just
I'll
it.
look into that. So thank you all for coming.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you very much.